I love Calvin Johnson.
My favorite player of all time. Love him.
I lived arguably the third greatest wide receiver in NFL history. And I got almost 10 years of it. A decade, almost a decade, of some of the most unreal, exceptional, dominant performances. He says his relationship is trending up. And to be honest with you, I do think the Lions should make amends. That is where I stand. Having said that, are we making a bigger deal of this than what it is? Because to me, how do I say this politely? I actually don't care if Sheila Hamp and the Lions organization, quote, embrace Calvin. I think it's really good for the team. I think it's good for the city. I think you want to treat your legends better than anybody. I think you want to follow how the Chiefs do it. The Chiefs do it the best in the business. Taking care of their legends, making them feel great, doing events with them, all that stuff. And I'm not expecting Calvin Johnson to be running down Ford Field on the sideline with a Lions flag. Oh my God! Trying to get hype. No. But I do think he did enough to earn some respect and figure out how to compensate him properly.
Yeah.
I do think that's a given, but is that going to change their fortune? No. Does that mean Brad Holmes drafts better because they made up with Calvin? No. Does it mean Dan Campbell coaches better because they made up with Calvin? No. Does it mean the players are training better in the offseason and they're going to perform at a higher level next season? No. Because they pay Calvin? No. I want to pay him. I want to bring him, wrap my arm around him, but it has like zero impact on the team. And I think we get caught up sometimes. And if we got to break the curse, there's no curse. There's no ghosts. There's none of that. There is no curse on Detroit.
Sheila's been getting a lot of love over the last 6 months from everybody in Detroit. I think she's done a great job, but this is part of it as well. If your job is to change the narrative or the perspective of your franchise, this is part of it here. Amending that relationship with Calvin. I mean, you watch any national show, if they bring up the Lions and Calvin, the conversation always gets brought up. What are they going to do with Calvin? Did they pay Calvin? Give Calvin his money? And a lot of people don't understand the context of that or how that works. You can't just cut Calvin a check. At least I don't think so. But like you said, one of the greatest, if not the greatest player to ever play in a Lions uniform. We'll just say the greatest wide receiver. Barry's obviously the greatest running back, arguably, of all time. But still, your greatest wide receiver to ever grace a Lions uniform. I mean, the guy put his body on the line. He still has complications from it even to this day. Still lives in Detroit, in Michigan specifically. So you got to take care of him. And just imagine a playoff game. The Lions hosting at Ford Field, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. These guys are in attendance. You know how significant that is? It's like this is what those respectable franchises do with some of their better players. They have them at the games. Jerry Rice, Randall Cunningham, any of these guys for their respective teams. I want Calvin to be the same way. So I have faith Sheila will get this taken care of, but the fact that Calvin came out and told, I believe it was the Post about this, the New York Post, about how it's trending up. It's after nearly 8 years of dealing with this, I think it's great news. And it's really all you can ask for. Here's the start. Now, how do you get the money? I don't know. We're going to have to figure that one out.